Yo, what's going on, Internet? TBH here on behalf of Gaming Illuminaughty, and today I got JG with me. Say what up to the people.
Yo, what's good?
And today we are talking Vampyr, the Vampyr. I don't know how to pronounce this game, do you?
I think it's Vampyr. I'll just say it's Vampyr.
All right, I'm gonna call it Vampyr then.
If
you're unfamiliar with this game, y'all, it is produced by DONTNOD. These are the same people that created Life is Strange, and they just recently released for free Captain Spirit if you want to play that. So they're known for their more story-driven games, so this was something different for them, a vampire game. We're gonna get right into it. If you're unfamiliar with our reviews here on GI, we have a nice little discussion about the game, but stay till the end because we'll both give our review scores, then we'll average it, and that'll be the official GI score. All right, let's talk Vampyr. If you're unfamiliar with the game, it takes place in London. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember the main character's name. Do you remember his name? It wasn't very memorable.
You called me, I forget.
We're just gonna call him Vampyr Man. So it stars the dude who's living in London. The year's like 1918, I think, at the time. And right now, and during that time period, the Spanish flu is going around. Everybody's sick, and for some reason, there's also an outbreak of vampires in London. And you also become a vampire, which I'm not gonna spoil how, but along the way you do. And you meet a bunch of people you get to talk to all throughout the city. You're trying to investigate what's going on, as well as you're trying to help people, because at the same time, you are a doctor by trade during the day and you're a vampire at night. So the game's all about trying to control your thirst, getting to know the people in the town, but also trying to solve this mystery of where these vampires are coming from, what's causing the trouble, and also trying to stop the sickness. How'd you feel about the story, JG?
And I just looked up. His name is Dr. Jonathan Reed. When I was initially going through the story, like, it's a lot of boring sections, and this is mainly like when you're just talking to other people. But the main thing that I did enjoy when I was actually playing the game, as far as the story is concerned, is trying to figure out like who made you. When you actually get into that, and you find out like who is your creator, because that was basically what he was trying to figure out the entire time, then it gets slightly interesting. But at the same time, like, once it got toward the end, I was kind of like, that's it. Like, I wanted more to the game when I got to the end. Like I was saying before, like, I just feel like a lot of the story and a lot of the dialogue when you talk to other people was just kind of filler. It didn't really do much to progress like the overall story. But I like the concept. It was just the ending just kind of left a little bit to be desired. But I did enjoy the story for the most part from what I played.
Which is interesting to hear because, like I said earlier, DONTNOD has a pedigree for telling great stories. And I kind of have to agree with you. Like, there were certain points where it was very interesting, and then there were certain points towards the middle of the game where it just really started to drag. And that's mainly because in this game, it is very dialogue driven. You have to go around London talking to everybody in the town. And the thing about it is, none of the characters particularly interest me. But this is a positive for me, though, because in this game, if you don't want to talk to people, you don't have to. You can just kill them, man. So I killed everybody in London because they bored the fuck out of me. So that's where I had my fun. I was just fucking ravaging the town. What about you in the dialogue?
Yeah, so you were definitely playing the savage role in the game. So we watched your playthrough, and you were going in, man, killed damn near everybody in the damn hospital. So, but I would agree with you. It wasn't really too many characters that were very interesting. The only character that really made sense and that I was trying to figure out more about was Lady Ashbury.
That's the only name I remember. Like,
yeah, she knew a lot about like how you were created. She didn't know who your creator was, but obviously she had a lot of things that she was hiding from you. That you had to learn over the course of the game, when like you had like sort of like a love interest towards the end, and that's when she kind of like opened up to you a lot. But then we find out in the end, you know, what happened to her and her father. But she was like the only important character, to be honest, besides the initial doctor. But even him, like he got dealt with too. So it was just you and Lady Ashbury, to be honest. Everybody else was just filler. They didn't matter. You could kill them if you wanted to. I didn't kill everybody. I only killed a certain amount of people, just so I can level up quicker. Like the people who didn't have an interest, like if they didn't have a wife or a husband or a son or a daughter, things like that. The people who basically didn't matter in the certain town that they were in, I killed them.
People who don't have family don't matter. Let's put that quote in the comment section for JG.
They didn't matter in the game, man. I'm sorry, not in real life, but they didn't matter in the game to me. So that, or if they were a piece of shit, like the boxer, but he had a son, so I was like, I'm not gonna kill him.
Drunken dude you would run into.
Yeah, the drunken dude. Yeah, like it was a certain amount of people. I was like, I don't really care about them. So I kind of like pick and chose who I wanted to kill. And we'll get on that because I'm pretty sure you're gonna get on there a little bit later. But you'll get different stories depending on like how many people that you kill. Right. That was like one of the main like consequences that did change depending on like your play style. So I felt that interesting because at first I was like, does this really matter if you kill a whole bunch of people and the city goes to shit? And I was like, okay, like, because I didn't really feel like what I was doing made that much of an impact until I watched like your gameplay and other people were telling me too. It wasn't a huge impact, but it just kind of was. So that was all right.
So going back to the dialogue tree, this played a major role in the game for two reasons. So your typical dialogue tree reason, kind of like what JG explained, based off what you say, people will react to a certain way. Missions will happen a certain way, but it also mattered because if you actually spoke to the people, from my understanding, and you got to know them on a personal level, I wouldn't know because I killed everybody.
Yeah, you didn't care. Yeah, you didn't look at this.
The more you talk to the people before you kill them, if you talk to them a lot, you got more XP out of it. So yes. I was getting the minimum XP out of everybody because I just end the conversation and kill you. Right. So yeah, it played those two roles. My thing is like, I just felt like how much do I have to talk to a person before it starts to get interesting? Because I don't know, I treated the game like how I treated, if you ain't interested in the first time I meet you, I'm probably not going to remember you. So whatever, I'm just going to take you to the back alley and kill you. What about you?
I would agree with that. The only reason why I let some people stay alive was because I wanted to unlock all of the trees, because some of the stories were interesting. I would admit that some of the side stories of these people were interesting, but it was a lot of people that just like I didn't care about at all. I just wanted to talk to enough people so that I unlocked all the dialogue trees, because I would admit it was cool like doing the little mind control thing and having them like fess up. Like I met some twin brothers. I don't know if you remember those dudes. So you probably ain't seen them where you just killed them and didn't care, but it was some brothers and they had like some interesting stories of like what they were doing. So it was only certain people that had interesting stories, and I like if I cared about them enough, then I'll try to like find out like all their dialogue trees and get their blood quality all the way up so that when I killed them, I'll gain the most XP. So that was the cool things about the dialogue tree to me, but I definitely agree. Like a lot of people they were just there. Like they didn't really have a point to exist as far as like progressing the story or having anything interesting.
Yeah, but when I think about it, you can't be completely mad because I mean it's kind of like real life. Not everybody you meet is going to interest you. So
yeah,
most people are not going to interest you.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it kind of makes sense. I can't even be mad at that. So you're forewarned. If you're interested in this game and you plan on picking it up, understand that this is very dialogue heavy. This is super. You have to be an RPG fan to appreciate this. If you've never played an RPG, I don't know if this is the greatest place to start. Moving on to the gameplay and combat. So the way that you accomplish your missions, of course, you're talking to people, but of course you got to traverse the environment. There's sword play. You're gonna run into all different type of enemies. There's sword play. You got guns. You have heavy weapons. So if you choose a light sword, you can carry a light sword like in your left hand, and then your right hand you get a gun. And if you choose a heavy weapon, you have to use two hands to use it, but obviously it does more damage. And then also they had special abilities. There was a skill tree. You could do all these different abilities. You could like shoot demons at people and shit and cause like blood explosions. You can do like a shield. You can do this teleport move that would make you move fast. There was all these different cool type of abilities. For me, the combat, it was okay. It wasn't amazing. You can't block in the game, so it's kind of like Bloodborne. You're just gonna be doing a lot of sidestepping, but it made the combat a lot more fast paced. Towards the end of the game, I started to appreciate the combat more once I had more of the skill tree unlocked. But towards the beginning of the game, it's just pretty much sidestep and slash with the sword. How did you feel about it, Jay?
Yeah, definitely agree. This is the type of game that I normally would not play because everybody knows I don't like Dark Souls, I don't like Bloodborne, I don't like Neo. So coming into this game, I didn't think that it was going to be like that. And then it turned out to be like that. So I was like, oh no, like what am I getting myself into? But I think the main difference between this game and other games, besides Neo, because I think Neo does have like special powers and stuff, but I don't think that you can do it on the fly. And I'm pretty sure Dark Souls and Bloodborne aren't like that. But when you do get your powers, like that's when you become a real badass. Like as long as you got enough blood quality, you can use some special move. Like you can paralyze people. You can get your special move going, and they had a plethora of special moves. The bite attacks and all that stuff. So when you get your skill tree, like you said, then it really becomes a fun game to play. But in the beginning, it was definitely like just very basic, and I was like, well, am I going to like this? But when you get leveled up and get that skill tree going, that's when it becomes a real fun game. And that's what I really enjoy, like in the middle of the game when I actually leveled up.
What's the name? And based off who you kill, it affects the city. So I don't know, like I'll look at, so if I played the badass, basically I was just killing everybody. When you kill everybody in the game, basically London turns to shit. I mean, it's already a shithole from what I hear anyway. It's like the European New York. Like, it's full of, like, rats and it's dirty and shit. But besides the rats, there's going to be, like, zombies and ghouls everywhere. There's going to be, like, these demonic werewolves. Vampires pull up towards the end. There's, like, this Solomon Grundy character that was like, well, which is another positive for this game. This game did have a lot of different enemy types. There's humans as well that will shoot at you. So there were a lot of different enemies. They start to take over the city. And it becomes hard to traverse London if you play the bad role, because basically everybody's scared of you. They're hiding indoors, and basically just monsters take over. It makes traversing the environment harder. But I personally enjoyed it because it just gave me more people to kill. What about you? When you played the good side, what happened?
Yeah, since I didn't kill everybody, I didn't have that much of a hard time traversing between the cities. So I don't know what a city looks like when you kill everybody and the city quality turns to shit. I was just like dealing with the people like in between the cities. So that's when I saw like the werewolves and the vampire hunters and the vampires themselves and the other like vampire mutations. I forgot what they're called specifically. So I think that was cool though. I like how they did do that. They made it a little bit harder for you. So they basically wanted you to choose. They were like, well, do you want it to be harder? Do you want the specific areas to go to shit and you just got to deal with everybody? You can't go through the town without running into people, or do you want to actually try to save the individual cities and have a little bit of an easier time with people walking around and at least like it looked like an actual city without people fearing for their lives. So I thought that was cool.
What's the name? One other difference too is your ending will be different too based off of how you play. Because from my understanding, my Twitch chat told me that you eased through the final boss. Like the final boss is like level 30 something for you or something like that.
Yeah, it was like level like 33, I think. The queen.
For me, it was level 51. Fuck it. And I didn't even I thought it was normal because it was the final boss. I just thought it was supposed to be hard. But I'm telling you,
no wonder why you asked me. No wonder.
If you were watching me on Twitch, I was raging. And the game turns into, for the most part, like it kind of plays like Dark Souls-y, Bloodborne, but much more arcadey, so it's not that hard. But if you play the bad guy and you get to the end, it turns into fucking Dark Souls. The final boss had me pulling on my hair. It took me 2 days to beat it, like 2 different Twitch sessions. Like it was legit hard, but eventually it was some bullshit, bro. So there's that difference too.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, they own your ass. But yeah, that brings replayability into the game because there's 2 different endings, 2 different play styles, 2 different ways that people talk to you, and you'll get different dialogue trees. So if you're into that, games like Witcher, Mass Effect, you might be into that with this, so you can at least play through the game twice. Let's talk negatives. What negatives did you run into the game?
Negatives, I just felt like the beginning was very, very slow. So like you kind of gotta stick with it if you want to like actually get into the story, because at the beginning I was like, I don't know like how much of this I want to play, because it was a lot of times it was kind of like a hard to stream game too, especially like with talking to everybody and dealing with the dialogue. It was a lot of time like I was sitting there looking at my gameplay, I'm just like sitting there like, all right, let's get through the dialogue. There was
a lot of people coming in my chat like, what's this game about? Because it's one of those games you cannot jump in the middle, like you'll just be confused.
You can't really explain it. Yeah, you got to like catch it from the beginning in order to fully understand the story. So it was just a lot of slow parts in the game.
It's like RPG.
That's a negative. Yeah, it is though. Yeah, it's a full RPG. It's definitely a full RPG. So I can't really say it's a negative, but again, like it's not for everybody. I'll say that. And I found times that I was just like kind of like just dragging along, just chugging along, trying to get to the next part. So I'll say that it could be a negative, that it just starts off really, really slow. And the fact that you can't really block, like there is like a kind of a parry move, but I feel like it doesn't work all the time when you can parry. So I wish that there were like kind of better defensive options, but I felt like they kind of wanted to stray away from that because they did want it to kind of be more Dark Souls, Bloodborne-esque. and the fact that you get a whole bunch of powers in your skill tree. Because once you get all that stuff, then it like there's really no point to block or play defense, because you have other defensive abilities like the ability where you can like block a certain amount of attacks. You have like a shield around you, so like
that was my
workaround.
Cool. I just maxed out the shield, and then I made it so where once you last hit it, the shield explodes and it damages. Them. I like when you get a move, you can choose like, do you want this ability, you want to do this, or you want to do this. It's literally like Mass Effect. There's skill trees for the abilities themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like that part, but I would say like that's kind of a negative. But again, they kind of just counteracted that with the skills. So, and then the ending, like I said, like I felt like my ending, was kind of like meh. It looks like it's kind of setting it up for another one. Again, I don't know, but that's kind of what I thought that it was doing. I thought it was just going to be over, and I was like, oh, that's it. Oh, I beat the game. Oh shit, and I was like, well, damn, that's it. I was just expecting more. I was kind of disappointed.
In your ending, did you have to go to Lady Ashbury's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to her house, and then what she did on mine, she ended up sacrificing herself.
Well, I guess.
Whatever, bro. The game's been out for a minute. If you ain't played it, whatever. She sacrificed herself, and then that was it. And I was like, okay. Damn, okay, I don't get to do anything else. Like, I feel like it was pointless even going there, because like you can get items and stuff while you're in her mansion, but what's the point if the game is over?
Right.
So I was like, yeah, like I was expecting something else. I was expecting like at least go back to London, but you didn't.
Well, my ending, she tried to kill me, but I killed her first.
Okay.
It was the name. And then she like burned herself afterwards. Like she didn't like straight up die, but she like burned herself. And then like I basically was just left sitting in the chair like, I'm the best, basically, and all that. Like I'm gonna live on. And
you made her hate you then, boy.
Yeah, she didn't love me at the end. Then you just sit in the chair and you become the king of London, and then it plays another cutscene where like you just go around killing everybody in London and shit like that. So
shit, that ending sound more lit than mine, because like it was just like, all right, well, she sacrificed herself and it's over. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and I was just like, this ending sucks. I was just expecting more from mine, so like I think that bad ending is actually better in my opinion. Now that I know it.
I said earlier that some of the dialogue wasn't interesting. I ran into some glitches, like when I was running around the city, I'd run a lot into times where like enemies would just be standing there in that T-pose. Then you run up to them and they start moving again.
Jesus pose, yes.
I ran into that. Nothing game breaking, but it was funny. Like just that lack of polish. Sometimes like enemies would just be running into walls and they wouldn't even acknowledge me, and I would just kill them. So little stuff like that.
Have you I used to use that glitch like where you kind of like engage in battle, then you run away and they just turn around and ignore you, and then I just wail on them, they don't turn back around.
like you could tell it's like Ubisoft games. The enemy is programmed to walk around a certain space. You just gotta figure out what that space is, leave it, and then he'll leave you alone, basically.
Exactly.
You just shoot him right outside. Ha ha, you can't walk over here, basically.
I did that I was like, forget that. I'm about to beat their ass.
The OG gaming tactics. True. Then my other negatives were just traversing the city was a pain in the ass to me. The game is big, but then it's small at the same time. So it is like semi-open world, but London, the way that they design it, everything is like a small corridor or a small alleyway. So like I caught myself running in circles a lot because the map system sucks. And on top of that, the game does not have fast travel. That was the main thing. I
wish it was there. Because all these hideouts that you had.
All these hideouts, you should have been able. You should have at least been able to fast travel to each hideout, and a lot of the missions would be on the opposite side of town. So it was a pain in the ass to fucking traverse. I felt like I spent more time trying to figure out where I was supposed to be than playing the actual game.
Yeah, because all the enemies come back. Like if you go to a hideout and come back out, they'll respawn. So
yeah, that was my number one problem with the game. Traversing the game, just there was no fast travel, and then the compass sucked.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought the game was all right. What's the name? Let's get into these scores. What do you get a game, Jay?
Let's see. The ending kind of sucked for me. And it was very slow in the beginning. But I mean, after playing this game, a lot of people was like, you should play Neo or Dark Souls. Maybe I'm actually ready to be patient for these games. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you're ready for Neo.
When I say I don't know, because Vampire was a little bit easier. It definitely was.
It was. I'm telling you, from someone who's played both games, that game was easy, bro. The only time I had trouble was the final boss. That was like a Dark Souls boss. But I played Neo, and Neo is the only time that I've ever fucking legitimately I was ready to throw my controller on the stream, but like, you got to be cool. I got to the second boss and I quit. I was like, I'm good, brother. The second boss, I say try it for shits and giggles. See, I did like Neo more than Dark Souls because it is faster paced, but don't get it twisted. Them boss fights ain't no joke.
Yeah, because I played the demo for Neo and I was ready to turn this shit off too. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if I'll play it, but I would give Vampire I will give it a 7.5 just because I really enjoyed the skills that you can get in the game. That made the game super fun to me. So I give it a 7.5, but I just hated the ending. If they're going to set it up for another Vampire, then that's cool, but I just didn't like the way that mine ended. So and just because it was too slow in the beginning.
That's crazy. So you didn't like the ending and you still gave it a 7.5. I'm gonna give it a 7. I liked my ending. I was happy with it. That was the best. I killed everybody, but I still give it a 7 just because some of the dialogue was boring and traversing the city was just a pain in the fucking ass with no fast travel. And plus, I've played a lot of RPGs in my lifetime, and like this was just kind of a middle of the road. It was all right. Like when you start to play more RPGs, you'll see this one it's not the best RPG.
Yeah, it's not a AAA game, but they did a good job. Like it could. A lot of people actually were excited about this one, and I mentioned that I actually interviewed them. This was one of our first interviews when we went to E3 for the very first time, and we were like looking for this game. It's been like 3 years since they announced it, and we were like, "Where is this game at?" Like we didn't see any gameplay, any nothing, and then it just popped back up. We were like, "Oh, okay, well now let's play it and see what it's about." So that's what I was most excited about. But I give them props for what they did in the game, but I just felt like they could have did a lot more.
Bigger budget, like a little bit more time. It could have been a lot better. What's the name? I will say this is the first game from Focus Home Interactive that, like, I genuinely I enjoyed it for the most part for what it was. I mean, the Technomancer was right there. But like it was just a little bit, it was a little bit rough around the edges. So with the Technomancer and then this game, shout out to Focus Home. Even though it was developed by DONTNOD, it was still published by Focus Home. Shout out to y'all. Y'all finally starting to get it together. Y'all starting to get some good games because I know like a lot of people make fun of that publisher, but they're getting it together. They're working with what they got, and slowly but surely. Like I said, I gave the game a 7, and then so you said 7.5 plus 7. And then divide it. So, I mean, the score comes out when you average it between us two to 7.2. I think that's a fair score.
Yeah.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the official GI review score for Vampire the Vampyr, 7.2. Let us know what you thought about it in the comment section below, because JG spoiled his ending. I'm going to have to make sure I put in parentheses spoilers for this review so people know.
Be all right. If y'all ain't get the game, you're not gonna get it. Like we got other GI members who got a free damn copy and they still ain't played it yet. So whatever.
Okay.
I'm calling y'all out. Beat y'all games, boy.
Damn, they don't beat their games.
We beat our game.
We beat our
game free,
Fortnite.
baby.
That's why you always see us on the review, because we be beating our games. Y'all need to get off Fortnite, bro.
Hey, y'all do.
What's the name? So yeah, leave a comment in the comment section below. What do you think about Fortnite? Are you picking it up? Also, leave a like on the video.
Man said Fortnite. You say what you think about Fortnite?
My bad, Vampire. It's late at night. Leave me alone. Fucking Vampire. What do you think about Vampire in the comment section below? Leave a like if you enjoyed the conversation. Also, if you want to further support us on Patreon at patreon.com/GI updates. We have all different type of rewards in line for those who choose to financially support us. You can be on the podcast. We have a community podcast. We do giveaways for games, 2 games a month, as well as a headset. So that's 3 different things you can win. Like he's showing it off right there. That nice little wireless Lucid sound. You know what I'm saying? Use the code GI at checkout to get 20% off your next purchase. You can also let's see what else. I forgot. There's a bunch of shit. Go look at the damn Patreon. There'll be a link in the damn description box below. Other than that, we will see you guys on the next game review. We appreciate your support. We're gonna highlight y'all later. Peace.